Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And thanks so much for the Patreons that I do have that help support this channel. Much appreciated. And as a Patreon, with the link in the description below, you have access to exclusive Patreon reviews. So I do offer something extra. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. Today we are going to be reviewing and talking about the brand new Port Charlotte 18-year-old heavily peated, and comparing it and talking about the Port Charlotte 10 and some other offerings. Going to kind of put it all in perspective. Before I get started, a quick shout out to a very new channel. It's only been in operation a couple of months. Goes by the name of Whisky Uncorked. Whisky Uncorked. Highly recommend checking him out. He's got a fantastic speaking voice. He does podcasts as well. And he does mostly long form reviews, but they're very engaging and very well produced. And so check out Whisky Uncorked. He's got some good stuff on there. And he's a big Springbank fan, so he's got some good reviews out there. All right. So this Port Charlotte, let's get the specs out of the way. Port Charlotte 18-year-old comes in at 54.3% ABV. It was bottled in November of 2023, but they're calling it a 2024 limited edition release of 6,000 bottles. It's different than the PC10 amped up, and this is why. This PC18, unlike the PC10, which is the majority of ex-bourbon, this PC18 has no ex-bourbon. It is 74% refill sherry casks and 26% refill French oak wine casks. Okay, so the PC10, the current edition of it, is made up of 65% first fill ex-bourbon, 10% second fill ex-bourbon, and 25% second fill French wine casks. Okay, so the PC10 is, the majority of it is ex-bourbon, whereas this PC18 is 100% all ex-wine casks. Okay, so if you're expecting a grown-up version of the PC10, this is not it. Okay, it would be nice, and hopefully maybe they'll do that at some point, but they have not yet. And this, I believe all of them worldwide comes in at 700 milliliter bottles, and it comes with a hefty price tag. The cheapest you're probably going to find this is going to be around $200, as high as $250. Yeah, it's a lot of money. I got a pretty good deal on this. I wasn't, to be honest with you, had made up my mind that I was going to pass on it, and I came across a halfway decent deal, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. So I'm going to share my experience with you on this. Okay. I've seen there's not a lot of reviews on this yet. Right now, today's date is April 15th, 2024. The couple of reviews I've seen, people aren't really picking up on the peat, the heavily peated aspect of it, but it is there. But it's more smoky. So right off the bat on the nose, you're getting smoke. and then the peat is taking a back seat, but it's there. Earthy. White pepper. White pepper transitions to a bit of a funk, okay? The wine influence is there. A little bit of vanilla, and even a hint of Band-Aid on the nose. On the palate. It lacks a bit of viscosity on the palate. I was expecting more creaminess, but that is from my expectations of like the PC10, which is more of a creamier thing. It's not thin, but I wouldn't describe this as a highly viscous offering. So on the palate, there's a light sweetness, dry, and very spicy. A lot of oak spice in there. Tannins. Palate, clove, vanilla, raspberry, strawberry Twizzlers, and a bit of iodine in there. The finish, I would say, is long and lingering. When the glass becomes empty, I get this dipped cigar. You know how you buy like these fancy cigars that are like dipped in rum or licorice or sweet liqueurs. There's a bit of that dipped cigar note. Oak spice, long dry finish. Oak spice really hangs on there. It's definitely complex. This, in my opinion, is like a glorified Port Charlotte cask exploration series, which they've had several now. The latest is PMC, which I just put away. Hang on a second. The PMC. Picture the PMC aged up a bit, because the PMC I think is like 9 years old. It's more in that realm. But even with this 18-year-old age statement, to me it comes across younger than the 18-year-old. I know by law and all that kind of stuff, has to be a minimum of 18 years. So I'm not disputing that. But from my experience with this, I'm not really experiencing a lot of really old aged offerings in there. So I think this is like a glorified Port Charlotte cask exploration series. Now the cask exploration series, the price range on those is from like $135 to $150. So those aren't cheap either, and the ABVs are right in line with what this is. If you like Port Charlotte cask exploration range, and you're comfortable with that price range, $150, in my opinion, if you can find the 18 for close to $200, you will not be disappointed. I think it offers more complexities, definitely, in there. I've had several drams out of this in the last couple of weeks, and I really enjoy this, by the way. Score-wise, sometimes when I'm drinking this, I'm like, wow, this is a masterpiece, and it's like a 9 out of 10. Then other times, I kind of, maybe because my palate's becoming acclimated, I'm more in line with an 8 out of a 10. So 8 out of a 10 would be excellent, something special, and a 9 out of 10 would be exceptional, remarkable. I'm going to settle with an 8 out of 10. This is excellent. It's something special. It's not an Octomore. And I'm just quickly talk about that. I've had a few Octomores, not a lot, but a few. And I recently tried the 14.1, which you can find if you hunt for under $200. Granted, that's a 5-year-old, but they mature. It's a longer. I'm not going to get into the whole Octomore thing, but it's a more time-consuming process. I believe it's smaller casks. Maturation is a bit more rapid due to the contact with the smaller size barrels that they use. But this I'm going to go off on a tangent. Anyway, the 14.1. I sampled it a couple nights ago, and wow, it knocked my socks off. And you can find that for around $200, a little bit less than $200. I enjoyed that 14.1. That would be a 9 out of 10. That was just from two or three little miniature samples that I had. I was really impressed with that. So bottom line, if you're a Brook-Lottie fan, you're not going to listen to me. You're just going to go out and you're going to get this because curiosity killed the cat and broke the bank, right? This is a solid 8 out of a 10. If you're a Brook-Lottie, PC, Port Charlotte fan, cask exploration fan, it's a different animal than the Octomore though, but you won't be disappointed in this. And yeah, I could go on, but that's my story. That's my experience. I hope you enjoyed this little mini rant and review. And before I get into like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff, the next review is going to be, I'm looking forward to this, the Indri Diwali, heavily peated, fully matured in PX casks, and comes in at a whopping ABV as well. We're going to be reviewing this within the next week. And this Port Charlotte 18 and this Indri Diwali are somewhat in alignment. They have a lot of things in common. So when I do that review, I'm going to be kind of comparing it a little bit to this Port Charlotte 18 as well. So give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, consider becoming a Patreon with a link in the description below. Remember, folks, it's just whiskey. Hats off to you all, and take care.